Hi everybody, Mariana here. So I got a new stand for my iPhone. It's looking good. Okay, so today we are on day 2 of the Business Foundations Challenge. I'm so excited to have you here. As you guys are logging on, I just wanted to take a moment and thank you for hopping on and for participating in the challenge. If you're not registered already and you have no idea what I'm talking about, we are doing a Business Foundations Challenge all week. We are setting the groundwork for a profitable business for you. And what that looks like is yesterday we talked about mindset. Today we're talking about your vision and creating some concrete goals. As you're hopping on, go ahead and say hi in the chat bar. I'm excited to interact today and answer any questions. If you have any questions, leave them until the end and I'll take some time to do some Q&A. So today I wanted to start with your quote for inspiration, and that is, if you don't know where you're going, then you will end up somewhere other than where you want to be. Hey Lizette, how are you? So that's your inspirational quote for today, and that is kind of like the premise of where we're going today. Yesterday we talked about mindset and kind of like establishing a mindset so that you can have that sturdy, like thick skin. Today we're talking about your vision and where you're going in your business. So I love to teach this in my programs and to my clients as a really good foundation, and I like to do the vision as part of your values, because I believe that if we get into a business that we're not 100% in alignment with regard to your values, like this means, like, let me just say this in plain English more. So like, let's say that you really value your family time, and that's really, really important to you. And I know for a lot of you moms, that's the case, right? So that's your values. Like, that's what you stand for 100%. Like, that's really precious to you. And you have a job, right? Like a 9 to 5 job, and you are struggling because you see your kids maybe once or twice in 1 or 2 hours a day. This is what I was struggling with when I first started, okay? There was a value conflict, right? Like, my job was preventing me from doing and living my life the way that I needed to live my life to feel really good about myself. Hey, Donna. So that's why your business vision should be grounded on your values, okay? Because it's something that like is so deeply ingrained in you that it's going to feel really, really good when you find a match, right? And it's going to be the foundation for your vision and where you want to take your business. And so to identify like what are your values, I have a few questions. If you're in the challenge already, you got the email. Hello. Sorry, my husband was calling me. Okay, so if you already are in the challenge and signed up, then you've gotten the email and you have all of these written down. I'm going to go through some of these and get you thinking about what your values might be. So what are 3 things that you're super, super, super proud of in your life that you've accomplished? This is something that is going to help you to see, like, what are some things that really matter to you, right? And what has given you some fulfillment and some joy. What kind of things were going on at that time, right? So like I talked about family time as being a value. It could be something like ethics related, right? Like you really stand for justice or freedom. What are kind of the feelings that you're getting when you journal about these things? What are 3 things that you're not like hugely proud of or that compromised what you really stand for? And this is really, really important to see because it's something that you can start to see like, okay, this is not going to happen in my business. You're creating your business and your, the foundations of your business based on what you love and what you believe. So you have the freedom to create it however you want. And so identifying those things, writing them down and making sure that that does not happen is really, really important. And think about a moment that you felt angry, dissatisfied, like kind of what was the situation around that. And hey, Senna, and hey, Cheryl. So, and then do you see any commonalities, right? So, like you've journaled on these kind of things, and what commonalities do you see? What threads are you seeing among all of them? So, again, I'm just going to recap these. What are 3 things that you're most proud of in your life that you've accomplished? Describe a moment that you felt really happy or fulfilled. What was going on? What did the moment look like? What are 3 things that you're not proud of that rubbed you the wrong way or made you feel like you had to make a change about them? Describe a moment that you felt angry, dissatisfied, what was going on, and what do you stand for no matter what? And then what commonalities do you see among all of these things? So I'm going to give you another example. I gave you the first example, which was my 9-to-5 job was compromising my family time. I saw my kid 1 hour in the morning to get him ready for school. I saw him 1 hour in the evening, and I was like, this has to change. This is not working out for me. I need to see my child more. And that's when I started as a health coach. Like I told you yesterday, I started as a health coach when I started in January 2015. And that's why I started, because I was like, I need some more freedom. I don't like that I can't see my child when I want to see him, and I really don't have enough time to see him. And I knew that something had to change, that was compromising my values. Here's another example. I am really, really proud of being of service to others. As some of you guys know, my background is in nursing, and that's what I did before I went into hospital administration. I was in nursing. So that's been a history of mine, right? Like helping others since I was a kid. And that's pretty much been every job, right? So now you're seeing a trend. And in corporate, I was frustrated when people would do things that was not helpful or intentionally hurt others, right? Like other patients. Or if something was done wrong and it caused other people to suffer. So a common thread here is service, right? And so, and doing the right thing, right? So here's how you can use your values as a filter. At one point, I was trying to start a product-based business. That obviously is not in alignment with my values. Yes, it's a business. Yes, it can help me to free myself from the 9-to-5. It's not in alignment with my values and my core beliefs of serving others. Okay? Yours doesn't have to be like this. Yours could be totally different, and it probably will be. But what I want you to do is kind of take a look at what are those commonalities in the stories in the things that you've experienced in your life, and really dig deep and find out what it is that lights you up, because those things are not going to change in you. These values are like in you. So that's why I want you to build your business on a really, really strong foundation like this. Okay, so Senna asks, is it possible to manage life with 9-to-5 schedule? What if you really want to work with corporates and they can't really change their time? Okay, so when I was in corporate, I worked my 9-to-5 job over 40 hours a week while building my business as a health coach. And what I did is kind of unhuman. It is possible. So what you have to do is figure out ways to work smarter and not harder. The first thing I did, I woke up super early, which I still had to do when I came home with my children because I had no nanny at first. So I would wake up at 4 a.m. to start working and start my day. The second thing that I did is managing my energy. So making sure that I was eating healthy and exercising so that I would have enough energy to last me like into the evening when I would still be working, like once the kids went to sleep. So it's totally, yeah, Lizette says 4 a.m. is amazing. Yeah. And that comes back to like, how badly do you want it, right? Like for me, I knew that I had to do it so that I could free myself from my 9-to-5, and I knew that it would be temporary. I was also pregnant at the time, and I had to make it work because I wanted to be able to stay home once my baby was born, and I did I did get to do that. So think about, think about it. Number one is like, it's temporary, know that. And that, if you're sacrificing sleep or you're sacrificing your energy, think about that as like, okay, this is temporary, and it's not like the end all be all. It doesn't have to be like this every day, right? Like if you shoot for like maybe 3 or 4 days a week that you're getting up earlier, or, somehow manage it, weave it in, right? And I think the second step is to really build this new business under your core values so that it drives you even more to achieve what you want to achieve. How did you balance spending so much time on your biz and also self-care? Yeah, so at first, this was a struggle, right? But I think it's about prioritizing. I didn't work out like 2 hours a day, like, especially at first, like when I first started as a health coach, I've always known, right? Like exercise, eating healthy, those are like non-negotiables. And so making that a priority, but it doesn't have to be like training for a marathon. It could be 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day. So that's kind of how I've done it. And I also like, drink tons of water, and those kind of like real basic things are my self-care, especially when I came home with my kids, because like I said, I had no nanny. So, and for me, my morning routine, like when I get up at 4, I didn't just head into work right away. I spent that time like meditating and affirmations, like kind of the mindset stuff we talked about yesterday. And then I could confidently step into working because my cup was full. So that's another part, like, is if you do decide to get up early, make sure that it's fulfilling you so that you can give more. Thanks so much. Yeah, you're welcome. And again, like, it's temporary, and it's also a matter of like, how badly do you want it? Because it is a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie about that. Like I said, there was a lot of early mornings, there were some later evenings, and also knowing like there's seasons, right? So like if you're in the middle of launching something, that's going to be a busier period, and then once you get some money coming in, like that goes back down, and like the amount of effort you're putting is just to serve your clients, and it just kind of goes back down. During pregnancy, did you find any problems with managing your work and your self-care? Yes. It was a kind of a rough pregnancy. Like I was throwing up like 5 times a day. I had a really bad morning sickness. So I had to take care of myself. And in the first trimester, I wasn't completely out. Like I was just kind of managing my business. I wasn't growing my business. I was just kind of like posting every day. I did a lot of automation when I was pregnant and when my daughter was born, because I needed to get my message out there, but I couldn't spend that much time on it. And also because of still being in my 9 to 5. So I used like scheduling apps. I used Edgar, but I don't hugely recommend it just because it did decrease my visibility. But use tools, right? Like you could use Hootsuite, you could use any of those scheduling tools so that you can still get your message out there, and it'll save you time. And you could also batch process it. So you could literally sit down at 5 a.m. and batch process it and have it be done for the whole week. So that can save you tons of time too. Okay, so now we've set up your values, and now it's your vision. Your vision is kind of like what you see your ideal life, ideal business to look like. And this is huge. This literally, I had the vision of what my ideal life would look like. And every time I've up-leveled it and been like, okay, this is what my ideal life will be like, I've been able to achieve it. So I really think that this is a huge part of business that a lot of people don't talk about. But I think it's definitely like something that all successful entrepreneurs are doing. They have some sort of idea of what they want their business to look like. What do they want to be doing on a daily basis? And I encourage you to look at that vision and see what it is you want to achieve and what you want to accomplish in your business, and start to take the steps to get there. Like, if you have a dream, if you have this vision, you can do it, but it takes the work, the daily grind. So we're going to take that vision and put it through the filter of your values. Again, this is a filter that you can use in any aspect. It can be big, right? Like your entire business mission, or it could be like a small project. Like maybe you're going to create a little program on something. Is it still in line with your values? Okay, so for your vision, walk yourself through your ideal life, literally step by step. Like, what does it look like when you wake up? Who's there? What is the surroundings? Where are your kids? What are they doing? Like for me, it was like this whole having a nanny thing, and I finally have realized this, right? And why is that important to you? And just building this, like this builds up that fire inside of you. And how would your work impact and change other people's lives? Yesterday we talked about the mindset of staying in the question, and I think like this, which is the mindset of how can you impact the world in your vision, is really, really important to like give you that bigger purpose of why you're doing this, right? Like, and how badly do you want it? That increases, right? Because if you're able to think about how you're going to help other people in your business, it motivates you. I mean, at least for me, it does. And probably because service is one of my values. So, okay. Now you can kind of set your goals. This is where the action taking piece starts. What most people underestimate what they can do or overestimate what they can do in a year, and underestimate what they can do in 3 years. So if you're like me, you might be, my husband keeps calling me. Okay, so if you're like me, you might be a high achiever, you might have a list like yay long. So if that's the case, hold on tight to that list. We're going to continue to put some filters through it. We put the values filter through it today. Tomorrow, we're going to look at it from the standpoint of your ideal client and put it through that filter. And then on Thursday, we're going to be putting it through another filter. So that's a lot. We're talking about values. We're talking about your vision and your goals, and realizing that if you have a vision, if you have goals and things that you want to do and ways that you want to improve your life, you want to change kind of the world and just kind of make an impact and a splash, then it's totally up to you to make it happen. And it is possible for you, right? Like, I'm really grateful that I did not give up when I found out I was pregnant a month after I started my business, right? Because I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't be able to stay home with my kids and make double of what I made in corporate had I given up at that time when it was hard. So I want to encourage you to take this moment, whatever moment you're at on the spectrum, right? And realize that this is just a piece of your story and what you're living out. But if you have a bigger vision, it's totally possible for you to realize it. You just got to take some action steps to get there and set up the plan. So in this challenge, we're setting the foundation for that. We're going to put your business through several filters so that it has a really, really strong foundation, and you can just persist and persevere through anything that life might throw your way, whether it's kids, no time, anything. And ultimately, we want your business to be profitable. And how you do that is through continually showing up, through having a business that feels really good to you. And it's built on values, right? It's built on a vision that's greater than you. Okay. Any other questions? She said I am a college goer now. How you are my inspiration already. Thank you. You're welcome, Senna. So anyone else have any questions? If you do, go ahead and pop them in the chat bar. I can stick around a little bit and answer some questions you might have. And if you don't, or you're watching the replay, I know some of you are at work and can't tune in right now. Just leave them there for me and I'll be in and out of the group and able to answer any questions that you might have. If you're not in it already, come and join us for the Business Foundations Challenge. That's what we're doing here. You'll get an email with all of these questions and all of these thought-provoking journal things to be talking about and building your business so that it can have maximum profit, maximum sustainability in the long term. And tomorrow we're going to be talking about your ideal client. As you know, that's one of my favorite topics, and we're going to use that as a filter in your business to make sure that you can be profitable. So stick around for that, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have an awesome day. Bye.